So this video is all about vitamin A in your skincare. How do you use it? How do you prevent irritation from it? What are the biological effects in your skin? How do you wear it for skin of color? And at the end, I'll be telling you my favorite vitamin A products, and I have a little gift for you at the end as well, so make sure you hang around for that bit. As we age, we have a reduction in fibroblast cells. Those are cells that actually make your collagen. In addition, we have UV rays hitting our skin that is also breaking down the collagen. So it's a twofold attack. We also have an increase of non-functional elastin fibers, which basically means that we lose elasticity in our skin. In addition, if that wasn't enough, we have a thinning of the epidermis, that's the top layer of skin, because the cells are turning over much slower. Plus we have inflammation taking place in the skin anyway. In addition, we also have dysregulation of melanin synthesis. So all these things combined basically mean that we get brown spots on the skin and we get something called telangiectasia, where you have those broken capillaries that tend to take place on the cheeks. So that was basically all the bad news, and now we're about to dive into the good news. What is vitamin A? What is this magical thing that you put in your skin that just transforms it? So let's talk a little bit about vitamin A. So vitamin A actually stimulates collagen synthesis. In addition, it also reduces the amount of UV that is breaking down the collagen. Vitamin A also stimulates those skin cells to multiply. And so what that does is it actually thickens the epidermal layer, the top layer of skin. In addition, because it's multiplying so quickly, there's less time for melanin to seep from those melanocytes into those skin cells. So you see less pigmentation on the skin. Vitamin A also increases the blood supply to the skin. And this is how it protects you against UV-induced damage. And if that wasn't enough for you, it also helps to normalize your sebaceous glands, those oil-producing glands. And that is why it's used in acne and oily skin. So where does vitamin A come from and how is it processed? Why is this important for you? It's important for you to know because that's the only way for you to understand which form of vitamin A is suitable for your skin. So retinol comes from our diet. There are two main forms. So we have carotenoids, which basically comes from plants, and we have retinol palmitate, which comes from animal tissue. So it's stored in the liver, it is delivered via the bloodstream, and then it goes into your skin cells as retinol palmitate. It then converts to retinoic acid. So what is this magical vitamin A pathway? It starts off from beta carotene, which basically gets converted to retinol. Most of you have probably heard of retinol. Retinol is the cheap vitamin A. It's the most common. It's brilliant for Caucasian skin, lower percentages for skin of color. That retinol basically gets converted to retinaldehyde. Retinaldehyde is my favorite. It is one of the most effective forms of vitamin A, almost as effective as retinoic acid, but with no irritation. It's also extremely expensive and extremely hard to get hold of. However, that's what I put into all of the products that I manufacture. So then retinaldehyde gets converted to retinoic acid. Retinoic acid is the most effective form of vitamin A, but it's also the most irritating. And as you know, for skin of color, we cannot tolerate irritation. Any irritation can lead to pigmentation because of the inflammation. So that's important to understand that pathway so you understand which form of vitamin A is best for your skin. So how do you choose which vitamin A is suitable for your skin? Now, as you go along that pathway, that vitamin A actually becomes more and more potent. In fact, retinoic acid, the last one I spoke about, actually requires a prescription. So it's good to note that all vitamin A derivatives are clinically proven to work on your skin. However, because of the different efficacy, you need different percentages in your product. Now, those last two that I spoke about in the pathway, retinaldehyde and retinoic acid, both of them actually have quite similar efficacy. They're actually 500 times more potent than their other vitamin A counterparts. This means that with retinaldehyde, you only actually require 0.01% of retinaldehyde in your product to get the desired results. So retinol is the ingredient you're going to find in majority of your vitamin A products. The reason is it's a lot cheaper. So now with skin of color, you're going to find lots of different percentages available, but for skin of color, because we cannot tolerate much irritation, I would recommend about 0.5 to 1% max of retinol on your skin. And at the end, I'll tell you which products I would recommend with those percentages in it. So basically retinol is cheaper and it's in a lot more products. So it's going to be much easier for you to get. And in all likelihood, this is the one that you're probably going to wear. Now, some of you are going to look at the back of the packaging and you're going to see something called retinol palmitate. Now, retinol palmitate is very early on actually in the pathway. It's at a similar place to the beta carotene. So retinol palmitate is what's converted to retinol, which goes to retinaldehyde, which goes to retinoic acid. So it is quite early on, which means it's one of the weakest forms of vitamin A. It's also one of the cheapest, and you can easily wear 1%, no problems whatsoever. It's the safest to wear, the least irritating. So it's just good to know that when you're looking at the packaging, what effect is actually taking place on your skin. Often you'll find retinol palmitate with hydroxyl acids, which basically moisturize the skin and allow much better penetration of the retinol palmitate. So you'll see those two together. In addition, other boosters tend to be vitamin C and E. Okay, so that's the heavy lifting science done. Now is the bit that you actually care about. How do you wear it on your skin without causing irritation? So the first thing you need to do is become accustomed to the vitamin A. It can be quite irritating, and so I always say only start with 2 to 3 nights a week. So basically alternate nights. And do that for about 2 to 3 weeks so your skin becomes used to it. After that, you can start to slowly step up to 5 nights a week. I personally still stick to about 3 nights a week because I do have quite sensitive skin. So listen to your skin. If your skin is becoming red and inflamed and irritated, it's too much. Listen to your skin, okay? So that's my #1 piece of advice, I would say. The other thing that you need to note is during the day, if you're on vitamin A, SPF50 is a must. It's not optional, it's essential. Do not wear vitamin A at night unless you're wearing sunblock during the day. I've done a whole video for you on sunblock, what my favorite sunblocks are for skin of color. So make sure you head over and have a look at that video, and also how to apply it throughout the day. So as you know, I'm a normal lady who likes to wear makeup, and I still reapply my sunblock throughout the day. So I will show you exactly how I do it without affecting my makeup. So that's an important thing for you to look at. So who should not wear vitamin A? That's very important. I would not recommend it if you are pregnant or if you are breastfeeding. The reason is that no clinical trial was ever done on pregnant women who wear vitamin A on the skin, or if they're lactating. So because that information is not available, you don't know how it's going to interact. And so I would definitely avoid it, especially around the eye area. Okay, so the product review section, the bit that I get asked all the time about, which one can I buy? Now, you can be so overwhelmed actually with all the vitamin A that's out there. But what I would urge you to do as a formulator is a cost-benefit analysis. Just because something's expensive doesn't mean it's more effective. What I tend to look at actually is percentage actives. And then I will compare the cost of 2 different products. And if the percentage actives are the same, then I'm paying for branding, which is not really worth the money. So what I'm going to tell you is what I think are the most cost-effective products on the market right now. For my own skin, I actually wear our own vitamin A products that I manufacture myself that are for my clients in the clinic, which you can't buy over the counter. It's only for the hyperpigmentation clinic use. So I can't give those to anybody, but the ones that you can buy on the counter are these 2. If you want to use retinaldehyde, however, which is my preference, I would recommend Medicate Cristal Retinal, which is 0.01% retinaldehyde. However, that's actually more expensive. That's £40, which is 4 times as expensive as the ordinary, and you probably will get quite similar results.